Good morning, everybody. It's so amazing to see everyone, especially our participants and our supporters, our facilitators this morning, and of course, our presenter, Elsbeth Horbati. Welcome. We are pleased to welcome and learn from our facilitator, Elsbeth Horbati, whose generosity and expertise have helped make this workshop possible. This offering will provide us with resources to help us navigate the various storms we've faced, both personally and in the hard work that we each do all the time. This comes to us through partnership between the University Counseling and Psychiatry Service, which is within the University Health Services at the UWI Mona campus, and with warm collaboration with Somatic Experiencing International, SEI, and its Humanitarian Response Caribbean branch. Want to give special thanks to our Somatic Experiencing practitioners who have dedicated their expertise, their time, and heart to executing this workshop just for us. As we gather again for the second staging of the calm after the storm, we honor that while trauma may live in the body, healing also unfolds through relationship, through rhythm, through story, through spirit, and our return to one another, which is what this is. May this space offer a gentle reconnection to safety, dignity, belonging, and collective calm. Thank you again for being with us. Enjoy the proceedings.
Thank you so much for these beautiful words, Nyamiche. I want to present also Melissa. Maybe you start with the team who is going to be here. Melissa has been long-standing help for somatic experiencing humanitarian aid. During 4 years, she's now volunteered to help out monthly sessions with Ukraine. And maybe you want to say a few words, Melissa?
Wonderful to be with all of you. Thank you for taking time out of busy schedules to center and ground yourself, to be there for others, and to build your toolkit and to connect with all of us. It's an honor to be with you today. Thank you.
Then we also have Hilary Witt, who has been with me together through many storms, right? Where are you calling in from, Hilary?
I'm calling in today from Colorado, and I go between Switzerland and Colorado. My official practice and work is in Switzerland, but I'm here caring for my mother who just turned 92. And yeah, so I'm really happy to be part of this. It's close to my heart that you all are finding your way, and happy to be part of the safety for that trip for you all. Yeah, thanks so much for coming.
Thank you very much. And we have Francine. If you want to say a few words about yourself, are you joined? Your colleague from the island.
Hello, everybody. I am Francine Kelly. I actually was born and raised in Jamaica, and now I live in Chicago. So it's really delightful for me to be here. Really appreciating Elsbeth sharing her expertise when it comes to disaster support with everyone. Let's see, I have a practice in Chicago. I also teach somatic experiencing now around the world. I guess I teach in the US, I've taught in Canada. We have a Caribbean cohort of somatic experiencing that's starting in October. And yes, Nadine is here, who was with me in Florida. Yeah, so I'm excited to be here to support this effort, and also to learn from Elspeth and her team that has been doing this work around the world. Happy to be here with you all.
Thank you very much, Nadine. And last but not least, Renate from Austria. She's from the same side of the ocean as me.
Yes.
Renate, how are you?
Thank you so much. Yes, I'm calling in from Vienna in Austria. And yeah, welcome to everybody. And thank you so much. I'm really happy to be part again of your support team. And I think it's such an important exercise. And yes, just really grateful to be again with you. So welcome to everybody.
Thank you very much, Renate. And just a few words about me. I have developed this kind of support after political upheavals in Nicaragua in 1918 and, sorry, 2018. Where am I? 2018, so it's quite a few years ago. And since then, we have done this in many parts of the world. So I hope you can get a little bit out of this. As I was explaining, this is not a somatic experiencing training. It's not a somatic experience session. It's a group coming together to learn with each other of how to regulate after things have happened which are sometimes just too much. Okay, so I'll start slide. Let me see if I can do that. Right. Just to say, what are the goals for today? So it's to find out a bit, how can I do more self-care for myself and how can I care better for others? This is the attempt I have in my own life, and I would really love to share this with you. For me, I have a few rules during these sessions, be it online or be it in presence. It's my body, my rules, right? And it's also just look always for your own safety. Look what makes you feel safe, what makes you feel easy to be here with you. Then I think it's probably known we talk with respect to each other. Nobody should say any bad things, any wordings about the others, no cursing or anything, right? I think that's understood. And then, yes, everybody has the freedom to leave when they want to go, to not say anything if nobody wants to say anything, right? You feel free not to feel anything. Sometimes people don't feel anything. Just join this group with your entire freedom. This is a message I had produced together with Nyamyeche, and I would love Nyamyeche to read this out, please.
Sure. So we recognize that some participants may have entered today's session already carrying a great deal, or may find it a little difficult to focus, may feel a bit triggered, flooded, or overwhelmed during or after this session. If you would appreciate a brief private grounding conversation with one of our practitioners, please send a private message to our support host, Dr. Melissa Sinclair, who will supportively assign you to one of our practitioners in a private breakout room. You're welcome to access this support with no explanation needed. And you can see the message, the email address there, as well as you can private message her in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we have agreed that this session will be after the presentation we're having today. Okay, but you can write anytime. Okay, Melissa, I don't know if you still need some words about technology or you might create digital support.
I'm good. Let's go.
Okay, so nothing about recording or screening or any, no.
We are
Okay.
Thank you. We are recording today's session. Only the faces of the speakers will show. So we invite you to turn on your cameras so that we can all feel a little better connected. and we'll post the recording of this to our YouTube channel, which I'll drop in the chat in a moment, in 1 to 2 weeks.
Okay, thank you very much. So I'll just go on. And if anybody feels to say anything, just write it in the chat, or you can also lift your hand and I will try to answer. A few words about what is actually resilience, because I call it resilience. Some people don't like this word, but it's how to withstand difficult times. And I use this picture of this building. It's from Taipei, China. And one thing that happens in this city is it's earthquake prone. This building is 450 meters high. So I use this as a sign of resilience, because they obviously have prepared for building it, but it also is flexible, right? It must go with the flow. And for me, the combination of the two is a good expression of resilience. Maybe another one would be this one. It's when everything is burned down, we can actually restart. Every morning is a new start. Or everything, when things go wrong, we can actually start again. And that's what I try to come across with you, is we just have to be creating community so we can together face hardship. Before I go into a few exercises, I'd like to share a few words of theory, see what happens to us under stress and fear. Is anybody wanting to ask a question so far? I didn't see anything right now. Then I'll go on to share with you a very deep thought I have, which is when I feel insecure, when I feel scared, or I'm afraid of something, of a dangerous situation, I'm having a normal reaction to an abnormal or unusual situation. These reactions of being scared make me to be aware that there is a danger, and it also gives me the strength so I can fight or run away. Like you have seen women lifting up a car if their baby was threatened to be scratched by it below. Or you can run very fast when you feel in danger. And this is the strength, this is the energy in our body that gets activated also when we're under stress, when something outside of our world jumps into our. So just to maybe make a comparison with the animal kingdom, we can say actually human beings feel happy and pleasant when they're in a group where they feel loved, like they feel accepted just the way they are. And also to feel touching a little bit. I know we European don't like that too much, but I have an impression that in Jamaica people like hugging and going a little bit like this, and how are you? And then that makes us happy. But then something scary happens. Oh. And then I can turn this nice little monkey can turn into a lion and really fight for something. Huh? If they take my baby away, if they do, I'll become this grandiose lion. Or the danger is so much, I run away. This is fight, flight reaction. Or when it becomes too much, I actually go down and fall and just don't show any reactions. I don't know if you recognize yourself in some of this. So what happens is that we go, I'll put the whole slide. I know you cannot read everything, but you can read it slowly when you will be receiving the slides. It's just to show you that life is actually an up and a down. As everything in this world, there are waves, like the waves of the sea, the radio waves, and also we go on waves. I'm sometimes happy, not so happy, then more happy, then depressed, and something happens, and I go like this more. But we're not stable. But there are ways of letting us self-reflect. Where am I actually? Like at the beginning, am I in the storm or am I in the ice? And this is very important to show with you, to share with you today a few things that make you possible to climb up the ladder or coming down when you're too much up. Mhm. Another small input on theory, and then I'll stop. This is the human brain. It's a very simple description, but we can see the part in blue. It's actually what we call the survival brain or the reptile brain or anything, anyway, something in the computer language is called DOS. Is something on the back here that makes it possible for all of us to breathe, to digest, to eat, right? We share this with all animals in the world. Then we have the limbic system, which is here in red, which is something we share with all mammals on this earth. And then we have the yellow part, which is thinking, the prefrontal cortex, which is bigger in the human beings more than any other animal. And important to know that in this red part, we have something called amygdala. And the amygdala is constantly scanning all day long. Am I safe? Am I not safe? It helps us to go into the reaction of flight or fight. So when I'm not safe, when I feel that things are not right, I'm constantly in the red zone. And unless I visualize, oh, okay, like with Google, with the GPS, oh, I'm actually here. Okay, I'm okay. And so today we learn a few steps of how to feel a little safer and to make the amygdala calm down a little bit. Because what happens is also that the thinking part of our brain stops thinking when I'm in danger. This is due to this. Will I show you? I'm sitting on the chair and then I'm about to fall off. Do I think, oh, I put out my hand to see if I need my hand? No. If I fall like this, the hand has to go before I hit ground. So I cannot think. And this is why the thinking stops a little bit under high stress or high anxiety. And that's why we take sometimes a bad decision when we are under stress or when we have just passed by a big hurricane. It's too much. We can't think. And to show another way is maybe we talk in somatic experiencing, we talk about parasympathetic and sympathetic. And even here, you don't have to read everything, but we know we are wired somehow in some ways that one is calm. It's like laying in a warm bath or in a Caribbean sea. And everything is fine, everything is good. But then some things happen and your body goes into like a cold shower, very cold. And this is why under stress, lots of people have neck pain. It's just to show one of the things. but you can also see you stop digesting. There are a lot of other things you can maybe investigate on yourself. And so what happens when we're under too much stress, like this woman eating up her computer or whatever, huh? We have difficulties to control our emotions. We tend to be extremely vigilant to look around who is doing what and where am I, and right? Every noise makes me jumpy. We have difficulties to fall asleep. Sleeping through the night gets more difficult. Increased irritability, outburst of anger, aggressive behavior, or go think. Relationship starts to suffer. And I would like to ask you, now it's your turn. What kind of stressors do you see in others? Or see at yourself or at your family? Maybe you want to share in the chat or you want to raise your hand. I will stop the screen sharing for a moment. Anybody who wants to share?
Could you put back the questions again, please? Sorry.
Okay, yeah. Just I can repeat it verbally, saying, has anybody suffered any of these symptoms? And where do they feel it in their body? Okay, I see Nadine. Would you like to talk?
Thanks, Lisbeth. One of the things that concerns me, and within the context of why we're here, is when a large part of the society is what I call on edge. So you see it in the way people are driving, you see it in the way people engage with each other. You see people go from zero to ballistic at a snap. At a personal level, even speaking about it to you now, I'm feeling it around my solar plexus and in my hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you very much for sharing. I see also in the chat some people saying tension in the neck, uneasy stomach. So I guess what I'm saying, lots of people have experienced this, no? Trouble sleeping. Uneven breathing, right? Yeah. So I guess I'm not wrong about saying that all the things we have experienced. And so if anybody else wants to share something? It's easier to share things written, isn't it, than to talk? Exactly. The talk such a big group. How many people are we now? 43 people. So it's always a bit difficult to say something. Okay, but I think we understood, especially when Nadine spoke about the society, when everybody is affected, then we also start to affect each other if everybody is nervous, right? So what is there to do? Let me just go back to this. Withdrawn, I want to stay by myself. That's also an effective, exactly. If shaking to the leg while sitting. Yeah. That's actually, I saw that many times. I saw once in a subway in Berlin. I was sitting next to a man whose legs were shaking like this. And I started a conversation, and it turned out he had been to battle. So, yeah, that's a common. Okay, so we have the symptoms. What can we do? I'll invite you. Usually we can go outside. This is not really, we're not going to have a break right now. Not yet. What time is it? Ah, right. It's already time. So we can actually have a short break to get up, go outside, or open the window and go into 1 minute of seeing. What is it you see? I don't know if you also have that flower in Jamaica. This is from Nicaragua. It's their national flower called frangipani. Then you can also hear. What do I hear? What do I smell? I'll invite you to go out for 5 minutes. What do you feel? Is it warm? Is it hot? Thanks, Nyamiche. So we're back by 10:37 or 36, whatever. Maybe open the window, go and have a look outside. Yeah. So we're coming back slowly. I hope everybody had a moment to feel the sun, to hear the noise. Anybody wants to write something about this? What did you see, or how was it to concentrate on your senses? Was awesome. Okay, great. Wonderful. It was refreshing. And it didn't cost anything, right?
Beth, I was trying to find a raised hand, but I wasn't finding it. I'll just share a little more that it was just nice to go outside, and there's a nice little breeze that's happening outside. And actually, after hugging the tree, touching the leaves, smelling it, I did a movement because I haven't danced in a while, so it just felt freeing to just do that. So thank you.
Wonderful. Yeah, great. So one can actually feel a little better in a short time when you concentrate on what is beautiful, isn't it? Okay, all this loving heart, wonderful. So let's continue a little bit. I don't have so much time as I wish, but I'll try to adapt. It's to share again here. Here. I'll continue here, right? So we said we're all going like in waves, huh? I'm feeling good, I'm feeling not so good. Can you see it well? Yeah. I know what happened. Just 1 second here. Need to do this. There, now it's better, huh? So we have these waves of where we're going through, right? Ups and downs. I'm sure there must be a reggae song on that as well. Maybe somebody can send it to me. I'd love to have it. And so what happens is that sometimes this part feels very not big enough, like I'm very easily overshooting, to realize, oh, I'm not in what is called my comfort zone anymore. And so what we can do is to do some exercises like we just did, go outside or open the window, and to make this zone a bit bigger so it can hold my emotions without overshooting, without me shouting. Like I tend to shout if I'm completely overwhelmed. Or some people shut down, they don't talk. So I want to share a few exercises with you. Feel happy to participate or not, whatever. So we start by putting the feet on the floor. If you're in a chair, try to put your feet on the floor. And then notice, how are my feet? Are they cold or warm? Or how would you call it? Huh? Or less? And then you can maybe go like this with your hand, with your toes, with your hand, sorry about this, with your toes. And you say, what am I wearing? Am I like maybe Renate and I, we're wearing socks here in Europe? And people just have sandals or have their bare feet. How does it feel underneath your sole of the foot? Is it the floor cold? How are my feet? And in this very second, when you do that, you find a little space to answer before you shout. Another very good exercise is just to hug yourself. This here is Peter Levine, the person who invented or developed somatic experiencing. And from what I remember, the first trainings I did, this gesture actually helps a lot. People where I supported some women in Nicaragua where they had to travel and support farmers women. They were in big danger. So they said they sat on the bus like this, and it really helped them just to feel at home with themselves, a little safer, as I say, not completely safe, but a little safer. And then I have 8 small steps which can do when you confront it, that you overshoot, you cannot manage very well your emotions. One is maybe your boss is shouting at you, huh? And then you just touch the desk where you sit on. And then you think, oh, is it cold? Is it warm? Oh, or is it wood? Is it metallic? How is the desk I'm sitting on? And immediately you have this very second, split of a second, where then you can answer calmly. Or the other thing is the temperature. We've known now the temperature. And then what do you hear? Just open up your ears, open up the eyes. Turn around and look, what are the colors you can see in the room you are? Another good thing is to have a sip of water when confronted with big problems. Or counting back 20, 19, 18, because we cannot be angry and count. So this is a wonderful tool. And now putting it all together, I would want to do an exercise with you. I will not show it, so you can just to feel a little safer. So we start, I'll cut it. We start the exercise by just sitting on the chair again. Make you feel comfortable. And when you're comfortable, you just put yourself more comfortable. And feel the feet on the floor. Are they cold or warm? And you put your hands on the knees and just feel, is the knee warmer or colder as the feet? You put your hands on your thighs and feel, are they tense or are they soft, no more tension in it? Then you feel the bones of where you're sitting, your sitting bones. And listen a little bit to how you breathe. Are you breathing fast or slow? Everything is fine. There is no judgment. Then you put one hand on your belly and the other one on your back. And then maybe you can say, wow, the fact that I'm sitting here means that mostly all of it is working fine. Maybe there's some pain, some things not quite right, but mostly I'm fine. My liver, my kidneys, my back. Wow, thank you so much. Everything is working fine. Then I turn my hands around. So it looks a bit like this, right? One hand here and one hand back. You think, oh, I'm a bit more than just my head that it's thinking. I'm actually having a body. It's 3-dimensional. Okay. You can take your hands and just rub them a bit like you're washing them. and say thank you so much for this wonderful tool. You know, I've been typing, I've been cutting my lunch, I've been caressing people today. I can do so many things with these wonderful tools. And I can also help me to calm down a little bit. I put a hand on my head and maybe make it rain a little bit, a warm summer rain, all the way down, 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 down. Maybe on the back. On the front. And see how much, maybe I take a deep breath after this. And I sit again on the chair and I close my eyes a second. Breathe in, breathe out. And then I look around, I open up, but very softly. Don't move so much just so you can hear me. Just go very softly one side to the other and just look at all the colors you see. I see blue, white, green, orange, red, gray, blue, green, yellow, all the colors. And then you can say, I'm here. My name is Elspeth or Batty. Today is the 28th of May, 2026. And right now, I'm so many years old. You can say, I have arrived. Just notice where you are now. If anybody wants to comment, please do not hesitate. Okay. So we can continue. What else can we do when things are getting difficult? Huh? Feel a little safer. This is what we tried. This is what we did. You can then lose it. And I like to have a few words on something called resources. I guess any person has resources. For example, we have external resources. You have a very, very rich culture in Jamaica. So you can go maybe and go out to your community affiliation. You have a social network. I don't mean Facebook. I mean real people, your family, your friends, right? Contact with nature. Just a few breaths, go out and see the green grass or whatever might help. Do some exercises or eat healthy food the way it doesn't need to be so expensive. We can find good food. Or then we have also internal resources, like memories of happy moments. spiritual practices, religion, but also my history. Where is it that I have been good in my life? Or find out a bit more about your family's history. Where is everybody coming from? Like I understand on an island like Jamaica, there's a lot of mix from people from all over. How did they manage to survive? What was good for them? Just dig a bit, think about it. And then, of course, there is culture, which I understand your island is full of it. You can listen to music, make music, singing. All this has a wonderful effect. You can also write down what you feel, what happens to me. That also is called journaling or poetry, art, anybody, right? And so I would like to ask you all, what gives you joy, support, or encouragement? What are your strengths? What gives you security? Or any history? This is probably not to be told here, but just to find out. Put up your hand if you want to share or write something on the chat. I'll say it again now. I'll turn this off just to say what gives you hope, what encourages you, what helps you to feel a bit better. Please share anything you'd like to say. Nobody wants to say anything? I'm sure we're now, how many people?
There are a
40
few
people.
comments, Elspeth, in the chat.
Okay, yes. You want to read them out?
Sure. Bible and prayer from Tracy. Audia says, my faith in the Creator and my ancestors who are ever present. Leslie Ann says, community, faith, drumming, creativity, prayer. Anne Marie says, my faith in God. Sherry Ann says, indeed, faith in God. Yameche said, I'm strengthened by the support of others. And when I tap into indigenous wisdom and Afro-Caribbean history and culture. Yannick says, my faith in Christ.
Thank you so much. Is there anybody who would talk for the group? I know it's always difficult, but sometimes it helps the other ones. Like one part of somatic experiencing talks about the herd issue. I don't know if Hillary's there. Maybe you want to talk about this? Or am I being too straightforward?
The
herding, exactly.
Yeah, the herd. Yes, to be able to, in our social engagement, to be able to see ourselves in others and to gather, gather and share, even in moments of despair, we can see that we are one family in the same situation. And that can also be, in spite of despair, calming, that we find security in our group. Yeah.
Or maybe, as I see it also, is when a lot of people are happy around me, most of the time you also get influenced, no, by the happy people or by people helping you to dance or making music. And when you're sad and everybody around you is sad, you also get somehow affected by it, right?
But it can also be in that sadness that there can be a communal grieving. And
Right.
this gives solace. And in a communal grieving, there's always a limit to that. And then there's okay, then what happens next? And then it's this coming back up of the curve of,
Right.
okay, this is difficult, we're down now. And there is just a natural emerging of that which comes next. And we can share that in the herd. And yeah, bring us all back into life.
Thank you so much. So my question again, anybody wants to inspire the whole group? We're 40 people, so if anybody maybe say, I do this, I do that, that's my resource, maybe that's inspiring. Like for me, definitely is music. Unfortunately, I can't sing. I always thought maybe one day I'm going to be a blues singer, but no chance. So maybe somebody else wants to share what, yeah? Nadine, go ahead.
For me, it's movement of the body in whatever way you choose to move it. Swimming, walking, dancing, yoga, lifting, whatever it is. But movement is like a non-negotiable and daily part of living for me.
Right. And how can you put movement into your life when having to work and being a mom and how you do it? Just all the, yeah,
Yeah,
right. Let's just move always, Nadine, like this.
yeah. Just, yeah, wherever. It's like breathing almost, you know, you move,
Mm-hmm.
we shake our heads, shake the hands, reach up. Yeah,
Great. Thank you so much.
thank
You
you.
like the music, right?
Or play the music, that's right. I usually have about 5 songs playing in my head, so there's that too.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Nadine. Anybody else?
I'll speak.
Yeah, please.
For me, it's being in the water, being near the water, just seeing how sometimes it's calm and peaceful, and other days it's not. It makes me reflect on the changes in life. Some days are good, some days not so good. But it always gets back to being calm, and I'm drawn to it. And so I find that's one way that I keep balanced and I keep um, just in tune with myself by going to the water, whether it be the river, whether it be the beach. Fortunately, I live in Montego Bay, so I live by the water, so that helps.
Oh, wow. That sounds fantastic. And right now you're overlooking the place where you live. Can you see the beach? To share the color with all of us. What color is it?
Today's really calm. It's not as clear as it always is, but it's not a dark, deep blue. So kind of a light blue. There's gentle waves. Sub-Sahara dust is coming, and so it's carrying a gentle breeze with it.
Oh, wow.
So as you look at the blue, you can see little pieces of white where there's a wave there on the surface.
Wonderful. Maybe you want to share a picture with the group. You can send it to Namieche. I'd love to see it. Thank you so much. Wonderful.
Elsbeth, a couple more in the chat if you want me to read them.
Please, yeah.
And please forgive me, people, if I say your name wrong. So Carice says, my family, they are my support system. They show up in so many ways. Yannick says, walking at any park that has lots of breeze, trees, and grass decompresses me instantly. Dorothy says, running up and down the stairs is part of my movement.
Oh, wow.
And then, Deanne, I'm not sure if you were raising your hand. I saw the hand come up.
Oh, yes, I'm here. I'm sorry. I was just trying to figure out how can I show my face. For me, Be honest with you, there are sometimes when I get in this mood, and my aunt had told me about it. Basically, I get how do you put it? I get a little withdrawn, and when that happens, I tend to close myself in. But what I do find out that's relieving for me is because I live on a farm also, and my animals are they
Yeah.
that's it. That's my farming, and I have my chickens, my ducks, and
Oh, wow.
that helps me so much. And then on those bad days, here comes my eight dogs. I have 8 dogs, and they are just there, and I'm like, this is just so peaceful. It is just so relaxing, and it just brings me out of that shell that I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
Because where I tend to withdraw from everybody around me, here comes, I call it my children. They are there, and I find that so amazing, and that just lifts me right up.
Wonderful, wonderful. And what sort of fruits you have on your farm?
On my farm, I have, but fruits, I have bananas, plantains. I have the different varieties of bananas, purple ones, all of that. I have
Mm,
soursop, sugar apples, sugar cane, sweet potato, pineapples,
boy,
avocado, mangoes. So I have all of
wonderful,
that. Yes.
wonderful. Yeah,
Different from my other animals, the chickens, the ducks, the sheeps, my pigs, my goats. So I'm a I'm a country girl at heart. So that just brings me joy. That's, I must say, that brings me joy. That's something that I just love doing. And
well,
the good
thank you.
thing about
Thank
it
you
is
so much.
once I do it, I tend to share what I have. And persons are like, did you grow this? Did you do that? And I feel so happy because it's something I did with my hand and something I'm able to share with others as well.
Yeah, wonderful. Maybe you want to also send a picture to the group so we can take a tour about happy moment,
Yeah.
huh? Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Anybody else? I have to watch the time for a moment. We still have time. So, because as I said, just to listen to these stories sort of feels uplifting, right?
Very much so. I could
Yeah.
imagine being on Diane's farm. Hope I got the pronunciation of your name correctly. Thanks so much for sharing. Beautiful.
Thanks. Nyamyate, you wanted to say something else? No. He suddenly turned on the screen. I don't know. Okay. So I'll continue if you allow me to go on with this. This is what we were looking at, the resources. And now I want to share a little bit. How can you help others? This is how it makes you feel well. But then to provide support. I guess, and everybody knows by now, these pictures is also when you go in an airplane. It means, please, what does it say? Put on your mask before helping others. And this is also what we do when we help others, is first to be in contact with your own resources. How am I feeling today in my body? Like check in, how is the weather today inside of me? Or how am I green, red, orange? Then try to regulate yourself. The regulation can be done, as I said, with a few tips, with a few things. It doesn't take so much. Breathing is also good. Breathing in short, breathing out long, just that can be making an impact. And just look at your list of possible resources. Relax the word here. Yeah, what can I do if I don't feel so well? What can I do? Go outside, hug a tree, whatever. Huh? before, like Melissa and I, we were preparing this workshop. She said, I need to go out just before we start, 10 minutes, go to nature. And then when you feel you're more or less regulated, of course, this is like under difficult circumstances, under war circumstances, this is very difficult. But once you feel you're more or less regulated, then you can start to help others. And usually we tend to say, do this, do that. You know, somebody tells you, oh, I'm in pain, do this, do that. But it's a bit easier to ask them, what has helped you in another moment in that situation? Like somebody might say, oh, I've lost something. I lost myself, or I don't know what to do. So instead of say, do this, do that, you can also ask, what could help you? What helps you to feel better with this situation? What can I do for you? Or even you can maybe even say, what would you, if I were in this situation, what would you recommend? This brings empowerment to a person instead of just saying, take this tablet or do this, or right? And also when we listen, first listen and then ask them what you want me to do, because there is a tendency to somebody starts to tell a story. I had a problem with my aunt and I don't know how to do this, and then you say immediately, do this, go and tell her that. But sometimes it's better to ask the person, right? And then in a team, when you work in a team, maybe this belongs to the university team, this belongs to a team who is attending people. What elements with your team can help us to keep going and keep us stable? Find that out. Have a team meeting and find this out. Or say, what has our team learned from these turbulent times? What did we do well after the hurricane? Huh? What worked well? And what from all this would we want to keep for the future if anything happens? Or nothing happened, but it felt good? Or what new elements have you emerged in these times? Anybody want to comment on this? Have you had any new elements coming up? Any new issues you learned as a team? Maybe you just think about it and then communicate amongst each other, right? Okay. I don't have the chat on, sorry, just to see if anybody wrote something.
Not yet, Elsbeth.
No,
Just
meditation
no.
with, yeah, okay.
Peter John wrote something, I think, just in response to the resources that we talked about. He wrote meditation with talk therapy, but nothing about your current question yet.
Okay, that's fine.
Yamache's
Yeah.
up.
Yamache's hand is up. Danielle wrote trust.
Trust, exactly. Very good. Very good word. Yeah.
And reliability.
Exactly. It's so important in a team. Like Melissa is wonderful in that. Whenever she says, I'm here, she's there to support. The time, wonderful. All of us, the team, actually, we have that a lot.
And Yamache's hand is up.
Okay.
Just sharing, you know, in terms of I've learned about the team. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
How strengthening, how empowering, you know, being supportive of each other can be.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Can you speak a little bit louder? We cannot hear you so well.
Is this any better?
a little bit better. I'm not sure, but basically
Yeah,
just
very
saying
good.
that how gentle, loving kindness to each other, how that can be so strengthening and supportive, and it can help you to go a little further when things just seem so, despondent or, difficult, draining, that when we're kinder and gentler with each other, that can help us to go a little further and push a little more forward.
Right. Sometimes a smile can also help, no? I have to learn that I don't smile enough. Wonderful. So we're coming towards the end, and I'd like you to just make this announcement again because Nyamiche has asked me to say that we could offer a 6-week course later, whenever, which will be like what we did today, once a week for 6 weeks. And it would be the introduction, getting to know your resources, like we would dig a bit deeper on that, how to help others, then understand grief or how to deal with survival guilt, and then on community building. And the last one is on life purpose and to find joy. Just as an idea, I'll send this to you. And then I hope we're getting from stormy waters a little bit today in calm after the storm. And as a last exercise, before we talk a bit more administrative things, I want to share with you that Peter Levine, who developed somatic experiencing, he was a biologist. Like a colleague here, you spoke about the farm. He also loved to observe animals, but he observed them in the wild. And he realized that once a deer, for example, like we see it here, almost gets bitten by a wolf or hyena, and is injured, it doesn't go around the rest of its life saying, oh, this wolf, this wolf. No, what do? They shake it off. And so I'll invite you as a last exercise just to shake off everything. So to get up, stand up. And start to shake. I will close this down and then to start to shake every limb, the right foot, the left foot, the head, the neck. Right. And Melissa, I'll invite you to push a certain button. Yeah. Okay, just shake it off. Please turn on your camera if you like. Beautiful.
Nice one.
Thank you all so much for participating in all this. I will put up a last, no, okay, no.
So a couple of things in the chat.
Okay.
Peter John said, believing when others say there is light at the end of a journey through a dark place and having the discipline to continue. And I think that was also referenced to before. And then Karine says, that was really great. Doris says, thanks for this excellent workshop. Would it be possible to get a copy of your presentation? I'd love to share it with my church group and many other persons who survived the hurricane. And I thank you from Tracy. Thank you so much.
Just to answer this person, yes, of course, we will send out the slides. You can do these exercises with anybody. Children, they're not harmful. You can hug yourself, you can dance, you can shake. All this is great for kids too, right? So please share with anybody. And I would love to share this now with all of you. Has the weather changed? Is it still in, like mine definitely went now to the green. I did more or less. Tension is over. So if anybody wants to write the number or whatever, how you feel, that would be wonderful. And then maybe just to think, when did it change? With what? Did it change by dancing, or did it change with the exercises? Did it change listening to advices from other people? Where was the moment that actually changed? Like for me, it was the moment when I realized not doing these long breakout rooms actually gives me more time to talk to everybody. So I felt like quite happy about this. I'm in 8 now. It changed when I went outside. Okay. Yeah. I think, yeah. Wonderful. Then I would want to read this again, which was at the beginning. Maybe Nyamete, you want to read this as an invite from your possibility as well?
Right. So as we mentioned earlier, this session, although it was very relaxing and stimulating, it could also come with, it could be triggering. It could cause some flooding. It could cause a feeling of overwhelm. And we'd like you to know that we have, a brief conversation that we can offer coming as we come to the end of this session. And if you'd like to have a discussion privately, you simply have to send a message to our workshop host, Dr. Melissa Sinclair, and her contact it can be either in the chat privately or through her email address. Okay, and we're also going to share some resources in terms of where you can touch base, both on and off campus if you need any additional support coming out of this session, or someone who needs additional support coming out of this session and other.
This would be this slide, right, Nyamete?
Yes. Thank you.
Right. There is a great number of supports you're offering. Right. Yeah. And wonderful. They're all in Kingston, or is this all over Jamaica?
So a lot of it is on campus right here on the UWI Mona campus.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm from Montego Bay. I think there's somebody else here from Montego Bay.
Yes, so this is available for our Mona main campus as well as our Western Jamaica campus. And then there are offerings here that are available to anyone across the island. You can contact some of these numbers for special support as indicated there on the slide.
Okay, so then you have sent this, I don't know, Nyamiki, is this part of it?
Yes, so this now is a tailored list of counseling support privately in Kingston mainly, but generally as well. And you simply have to scan the code and it will take you to a list of resources for counseling support. And it is stratified according to, no cost and then, higher costs.
Okay, so it rests for me to say thank you all very much. And maybe to listen if somebody else wants to share anything. There are a few comments here. And now at 1.5, it changed me from 2.5 when I went outside, took some breath and looked around and identified color I was seeing. So you see, just a few things can actually bring us down. There is Keisha. Don't know if I pronounced this well to talk. Go ahead.
Hi, morning. It's actually Keisha. So yes,
Keisha.
when we were registering, we were asked to put some questions in a dialogue box. Will we address those, or how will those be addressed?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you very well.
All right. When we were registering for the session, when the notification came out, in the registration form, there was a block that asked you to include a question that you want to be addressed.
Right.
I was wondering, will those be addressed if persons have put them in, and how would they be addressed, if any?
Yeah. What was your question you put in?
I just put in what was my question there, Lord? I was hoping you guys would have it.
I can look, Keisha, if you
Yes.
give me just a minute, I'll look it up for you.
Yes, and then if anything, somebody can shoot me a message. My email is there.
Yeah, I just need a minute to pull it up.
Okay.
Okay. Is there any question you just come to your head now?
But it's not really post Melissa related. It's more on a personal side. So I'd prefer somebody to look at it and then advise me outside of the session here. So that would be how I'd rather it be dealt with.
Keisha, I can follow up with the email to you.
Sure, yes, I'd appreciate it.
Thanks for asking. But
thank you.
To this, there were a couple of questions that were submitted that were relevant for the whole group. Do we have time to talk about those together, Elspeth?
Well, we have 5 more minutes to go, I think, no? Yeah, 5 minutes. Please, if you want to read them out, maybe you all help me to answer them.
Yes, just a moment. There was one I found really interesting about my home used to be my safe place, but it was flooded by the hurricane, and I've had a hard time restoring a sense of safety in my home. How can we use some of today's exercises, or how can we use today's teaching to help support my home feeling safe again?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
Francine,
I can bring
Francine, would you like to answer that? Sorry.
Yes, sure. So, Melissa, say that. Can you read the question one more time, because I want to be specific?
My home was my safe place, but it was flooded during the hurricane, and it doesn't feel like a safe place to me anymore. How can I help it feel safe again using some of the information I learned today or other body-based techniques?
So I think the first thing that I would think about is, remember Elsbeth did that orienting in the beginning to notice specific things? Because sometimes when there's a memory of something traumatic, that gets combined with sort of the system has a sense the whole thing is not safe. So if we can start to narrow down to noticing what things in the space are familiar. I mean, this is a big question and it's not actually a simple answer. So I'm going to try to give a simple answer to a big question. But the first thing that I would say is to try to pay attention to what's working. What is actually working? Because the tendency of the mind is to look at what's not working and to remember the things that have gone wrong. So what's working, right? What is familiar in the space? What survived unharmed in the space? What are the things that you still have from before that, what survived unharmed in the space? What are the things that you have from before? And what's working now? So that idea of our tendency is to orient to the threat and orient to what's not working. Can you orient again to this question of resource, right? If you are back, so I'm assuming who asked the question is back in the home, but there's all these memories of the past and what happened in the past. So coming back into in the present moment right now, in the present moment right now, what's true? And everyone can practice this for a second. In the present moment right now, that idea of orienting, what is happening in your experience that tells you that you are relatively safe, right? Because anything can happen in any minute. But what's happening right now that tells you that you're relatively safe? What are the things that you see in your environment? What do you hear? What are the smells? What are the cues in this moment that tell you that you are in a place of relative safety?
Wonderful, Francine. Thank you so much. Francine is a teacher of somatic experiencing, so you have far more resources than me. But thank you. Anybody else? Or is there another question, Melissa?
Hillary, would you like to add? You're muted.
My answer also comes from a place of having been flooded. And what was helpful for me was to recognize that I created my home. I created the environment. I brought the things of beauty into that environment with care. And so I went also inside myself, said, I am beauty. I have capabilities. And the things that I touch, I choose to touch, can also be a reminder, but they can also, I can touch out of a place of beauty. And then things start to come alive again. It's very challenging when all of the senses are alarmed. And to step into other places of beauty and use your senses. And this, especially after a flood, there's a lot of olfactory senses. And it feels like, oh, the whole environment is globally toxic, as Francine had suggested, that it's a global overwhelm. And to go places and listen to the birds and smell the flowers and bring that back and let that touch your environment and help to heal it.
Thank you very much, Hillary. I think also maybe if the place was just not nice anymore, try to put up some paint, some other colors, try to change a few things that really make you feel a bit safer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Melissa.
Hello.
Diane
Yes.
Hi, yes. I know we are short on time, but one of the things from the storm while I'm here, it was in Nassau, the Bahamas, I did not have that impact like my two sons did on the island of Abaco. And for my youngest son, and I was trying to communicate with them through the storm, but for him specifically also, I he called me. He was just kind of terrified, and he gave me the story with him just trying to hold the door for keeping the breeze in. And persons were like they hiding, and he's like, "Mommy, it's just me. I'm trying to hold onto this door," and he had to let it go. And it reached a point where basically they ran out of food as well. And with them running out of food, they had to go now and scavenge for food where they can find it. And the the tales he is telling me said, "Mommy, you know what it is to see bodies floating." And so his safe place where they had their home, and I thank God I told him, regardless of what it is, move out, find a shelter, do not stay there. You don't know what's going to happen. And he did. So when he went back and looked, the entire place was flattened. And so I put it today, when you talk about hurricanes or any kind of storm, he's panicky. Because what he went through. And I'm like, how do I, as a parent, even though he's an adult, how do I comfort him? How do um, I don't know what to say, except just tell him, I thank God for your life. You take precautions and all of this. But he is not, he will talk to me, but talking to somebody else, he didn't do that. He don't want to, Mommy, I can talk to you. I don't want to talk to nobody else. And I still don't know how to get him to open up. That what he's passed through the fairs, I just don't know. So for me, even though I was not in the storm in a way, I'm still in it because I don't know like what to do.
Thank you so much for sharing. I think, as we just said, there is lots of possibility. You can ask some of us to have a session with him if he would want to do that. Or at the beginning, just try some of these exercises we've been going through today, right? Just gentle exercises. Whenever this storm comes up. Thank you so much. So, Melissa, I must admit now I made a mistake. We still have actually 20 minutes to go. I don't know, this time it was flying so fast, I didn't realize it wasn't that fast. So we actually have we'll be able to take many more questions or to listen to some of the questions you have.
We have
So I'm so sorry.
25 more minutes for questions, and Jennifer has one. I have some more that were submitted by registration, and others, if you have a question, you can put it in the chat or you can raise your hand and we'll weave them in.
It wasn't so much of a question as it was a response to the lady who talked about the water coming in the house and how that felt unsafe, because I live in Montego Bay too, and I also experienced the hurricane and similar experiences. And one of the things that I have used to help me is to focus on the pieces that haven't changed, as you said. For example, like when the moonlight comes through the window, that still brings me comfort and joy in the space, albeit that there is damage to the home itself. When the sunset changes the color of the house to orange, and the sunrise and the colors and the vibrancy that brings, that's what's helped me. I don't remember your name or who was saying that, but that's what's helped me make the home feel safe and to bring back pieces of joy, of calm. Yeah, so just sharing one Hurricane Melissa experienced person to the next.
Thank you so much. So let me see if I'm getting goosebumps. Right.
There's another question here for Elspeth or anyone on the screen. How can I begin to prepare myself and others for the start of another hurricane season.
Okay, so true to what I was teaching today, I would have to ask the people who have gone through this, what was the learning you took? Is there anybody who wants to share? How would you prepare now after this? After the session today? Is there anybody who want to come forward?
Yes, I'm Tracy from Montego Bay. I experienced the hurricane at my hospital, and the residents who were on duty at the night of the hurricane, when I came as quickly as I could the next morning, they all huddled and were, like little puppies. The interns and the residents, they were like very frightened and scared. And I hugged them, and they just told me everything that happened. And after that, I allowed them to go home, even though nobody came to work. I said, see a couple of patients and go home and see what's happened to your homes. And then one by one, other interns came and said, it's raining in my bedroom, but I'm on duty. I said, okay, see a couple of patients and then go home. And what I realized is that when you listen to the concerns of people or the things that you can do to prepare, I think and I've taken it with me since the hurricane, is to just allow people to have their personal space to deal with their trauma or whatever, and not, we do have to do our work at the hospital, but I recognize that if their mental health is not okay, they cannot function. So in terms of a preparatory kind of thing for the next hurricane, the most I can say is, because of our past experience, it has allowed others to be more sensitive to the needs of others. So even though the hurricane has passed, if somebody has to watch their child run on sports day, everybody say, do what you need to do, we'll back you up, and then somebody else's turn will come. And I think that trauma experience has made everybody a little bit more sensitive to others' needs. So I think the hurricane itself kind of gave us some preparation.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Is there another experience who wants to share something you have learned from this?
I'll share a little bit, but thank you very much, Dr. Evans Gilbert, for that share. What I'm taking out of the last hurricane is how important it is to engage children, my children, our children, just a little bit, just talk with them, engage with them about it as part of my preparation. Because with the last preparation, I was just focused on getting myself prepared, the house prepared, I guess by so doing, I was preparing my daughter. But I feel like now, having gone through it, I would want to just do an extra special prep talk or discussion, something with her, and maybe include her even more in the preparation part, is what I've learned.
Thanks. Somebody's asking, how can we prepare our nervous system for the hurricane? And I think what we did today together, find out a few more things that would give you some strength or calm. Find out yourself, what it helps you to calm down. And of course, I know Francis and Hilary and Renate, you all know also some special issues. So I'll let you talk. Maybe start with Francine, you're the teacher.
You are the teacher here, Elspeth. One of the things that I find is really helpful is getting clear on what's the fear, right? Because anticipatory anxiety is a thing that keeps us in that state of activation that you talked about, in that sympathetic nervous system state. Or if the fear is so overwhelming, then we feel frozen. But oftentimes we're dealing with sort of an amorphous kind of fear, rather than what is the specific thing that I'm afraid will happen. And if we can get clear on what's the specific thing that I'm afraid will happen if there's another hurricane, then we can try to make some kind of a plan to be able to deal with that. And for humans, I think it can be, I know natural disasters, there are things you just cannot plan for. But that's something I would say is like, because if you ask 10 people, what are you afraid of? People will be worried about different things. Some people be worried about their house. Some people are going to be worried about their life. Some people are going to be worried about their health. Some people are going to be worried about their family. So can you put something in place so you have at least some sense of, this is what happened last time. Here's what I will do, right, next time. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing I always think of is this recognition that you survived. This recognition of having come through the last disaster, right? That you survived, and even getting clear on what helped with that. And I know some people are already still struggling with the impact between insurance and the damage that was done and whatever, all of that. But getting clear on what actually were the resources, what was helpful, to Nyameche's point, like what did you learn that will be able to help you to move forward. Now, the other thing too, in terms of the sounds, it's hard because we have regulation skills and that can help us out. But when there's specific, when there was overwhelm where we actually didn't, how do I say this? I'm trying to say this succinctly. Sometimes things get left behind from trauma, and they're hard to work out just sort of individually with self-regulation skills. However, sounds, if a sound is stuck in somebody's head from the before, sometimes just thinking of another sound, right? So people talked about the current sound of the waves that are safe. Allowing another sound to come in to your awareness to sort of dilute the overwhelm of the repetitive, intrusive sounds from before can be helpful. So that's just a couple things off the top of my head.
Thank you so much. Maybe I'll include Renate as well, because she has worked many years in humanitarian aid. And so like to ask you, how do you prepare to go into battlefield or difficult situations? How can you regulate your nervous system?
Well, I think like also taking it from the teaching now, I think it's good first to know, to have your own kind of toolbox, to know exactly already before, because once I am in the situation, it's very difficult then to think what helps to regulate myself. But if I have my toolbox already before, and I was just right now thinking like one thing would help me, like what is this wonderful place I remember where I just felt at complete peace. And for me, it was like during like being at the seaside, and it was this one place, and to really remember that and the feeling I had, because immediately when I go there, it calms down my body. Then it sometimes smells, and I have something in my bag, like these little sticks, and I just use it. But it's also touching. It's really touching myself on like what we have learned now, or tapping. So to really, and to orient in the here and the now. It's also social contact, to be together when you are in the group, because what also helps, you're not alone. So you can really rely on the others and to be together. So it's really to have like a whole set of like, and to adapt and to take it, but to really know your own nervous, know how you can self-regulate, that you can just take it when you need it in the moment.
Thanks so much for sharing. So what do you say, Melissa? One more question?
I would like to make a comment, and then we can do.
Okay, sorry. Of course, Melissa is also a somatic experiencing practitioner.
No, that's okay. I just put into the chat a beautiful tool that was developed by somatic experiencing practitioners that can be used for a variety of crisis situations like natural disasters, but also it was developed during the pandemic. And it summarizes many of the concepts that we've been talking about today. You'll see on it it's a numeric what mnemonic? So SCOPE. It comes from the stethoscope that the doctors were using during the pandemic. The O, for example, is for orienting, which Elsbeth talked about. There are many different ways to orient, and the sheet gives you one example. Elsbeth gave us more examples of how we can orient. Or it has the P for pendulation, which Francine was just talking about a bit. Can we find something that feels the opposite of the fear, or that feels beautiful in the house, and help our system go between the bad that we're feeling and the good, and moving between the two? Or it has S for slow down. So these are some tools that we can practice to help strengthen the nervous system to be ready for the next, overwhelming experience that might hit us. I just wanted to share that document, and please, you're welcome to share it with your colleagues all around the world. It's in many, many languages. Could I read Nyamache?
Thanks, Melissa. You can go ahead. I was just going to announce our post-workshop participation survey, but please go ahead and finish your point first.
I actually also wanted to read the question that's on the chat, Melissa. Is that the same? Yeah. There's a question that says, why are there so few males in the audience? And also, of course, we're all females here. Well, I have my thoughts coming from Switzerland, which is another culture. I think we women here have learned so much more to confront situations through the kids and everything. So we're on emotional terms. We find it easy to talk and to participate. I don't know, what is your guess, Hilary?
I just wanted to mention that we do, in fact, have two wonderful Jamaican men participating.
Okay. Or maybe we should ask them.
Yes, that's a
why did they join? Is there anybody wanted to answer that? There was somebody called Daniel. Would you dare to answer?
We have Lindy. I don't mean to call your name, Lindy, but since they're asking, and we also have Peter John. So good to have you both.
This seems to be the case in healing spaces in general, but
okay, thank you. Well, anybody else has a question, wants to ask something? Otherwise, I think we're done for today. Yes, Hilary? Melissa, sorry.
Just to share, there are a couple nice comments in the chat. Charisse says that she learned from the hurricane and from today's activity that it's important to focus on the present and what you can do, and not what you can't do, what you don't have control over. This is easier said than done, but being grounded in the moment is really essential. I had the support that I needed to focus on that during Hurricane Melissa. And this is a lesson that I'm taking with me into the next hurricane season. Yeah. And I don't know, Francine, did I miss anything else in the chat? I think that's it.
Of course. Now, the last thing is a survey. If Nyamete has put in sharing your post-workshop survey. So is it possible, Melissa, you send out an email with that link as well to all of them?
Yeah, I have just a few administrative things, Elsbeth, if it is okay. The survey's been dropped in the chat. We also can send it out by email, but if you could it takes only 3 minutes to do it. If you could do it now, then you won't forget. Wouldn't that be? And then you don't have to do it when the email comes. And then
we can already see the answers, no?
Yeah, we will be able to respond in real time to what you share. And then I wanted to share, and Francine, please feel free to jump in, that there is a new cohort starting for the SE training in the Caribbean, and I just put the flyer for that, and also the resource of the Caribbean Trauma Institute that is our somatic experiencing colleagues in the Caribbean. Francine, is there anything that you would like to say about those two opportunities?
Sure. I really first want to say thanks so much to Elsbeth and Hillary and Renata for being here and sharing their experience in working with natural disasters. And, some of the skills that Elspeth taught today come from somatic experiencing. With the training, we actually take it that much further. As I mentioned, the skills are really helpful to keep us grounded. But sometimes the trauma is so overwhelming that more work needs to be done to support the what didn't get to happen that has left us in a state of trauma. And some people have held that traumatic imprint in their system for so long that it's now causing more severe illness or more severe symptoms. Because we have the event traumas, and then we have, many people have just lived in traumatic circumstances. So the somatic experiencing training is actually it's 3 levels of training over 8 different modules where we learn to work with trauma from a body-centered approach. The system that has been around for Peter Levine has been developing this system for over 45 years, and we have, I think SE is in every continent, but we just had our very first Caribbean cohort that finished up this year, and we had a few Jamaicans representing, but we had people from all over the Caribbean and all over the world, actually. So I am the faculty for that training, and we are starting another cohort in October. So if you are a mental health practitioner, if you are a yoga therapist, yoga teacher, if you are a medical practitioner, if you are an educator, it's open to people from any profession where you deal with people on a daily basis, one-on-one or in group settings who have experienced trauma. So that's coming up. Hope that you will join us. Shervana has done a great job of trying to make it financially accessible for folks in the Caribbean. So, yeah, I hope to see you all there. As many of you as would like to.
Thank you so much, Francine. And then I dropped my email address. I am just newly brought back on staff at SEI part-time to be able to support humanitarian initiatives like this and to connect this type of work with the longer term trainings that are offered and other supports at SEI. So please, my email address is there, and I'd be so happy to connect you with somatic experiencing practitioners like the beautiful support team that's here for you today, trainings, whatever we can do to support you in your own nervous system regulation and in the work that you do to support your communities. Please reach out. And I see Nyamache's hand too.
Yes, I just wanted to thank Francine and the Somatic Experiencing the Caribbean, branch for this offering that's coming up. I'm looking forward to it, and I see where another colleague, Dr. Stuart Dixon, has also shown interest. But I really want to thank you all for considering, tailoring maybe even scholarships or part scholarships for us in the Caribbean. It really meant so much, So thank you for that consideration. I know that trend is building momentum where we're thinking about, tailoring costs for ones in the diaspora. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Okay, there was an answer from Peter. He says, I think a lot of males tend to internalize rather than talk about it. One question. So I think this is the end. What is any email of Melissa? Exactly, very good. Thank you so much. And thank you for being here, and maybe some other time. Thanks again.
Just to summarize for everyone then, so as follow-up, there are several ways if you would like to deepen your knowledge or if you yourself need more support. So you can do one-to-one sessions with any of the somatic experiencing practitioners that are highlighted at the moment. Our contact information is in the sheet. We can organize for the group a one-time group support session. Francine has kindly offered to host that for us. And so if that's of interest, drop me an email and I'll coordinate that for everyone. And Elsbeth's beautiful 6-week series around this topic today is a little sampling. She's developed a module for each big idea that's been presented today and a few more. And we could organize with Elsbeth a 6-week session specific for our Caribbean or specifically Jamaican colleagues, if you like. So our committee is here to help organize these things as needed. Hillary and I are the co-chairs of the committee. So please, we offer our services to you. And with deep gratitude for all that you do to help Jamaica be strong, thank you so much. That's it. Should I play the music as we're logging off today, Elsbeth?
Please, yeah, please.
Let me just give a big, warm, sweet, airy thank you to all of you for being here as participants one, for being here as facilitators, for you, Elsbeth, for taking us through this workshop the way you do. Your magic is inspiring. To have you all here, I can feel your hearts. I can feel your souls. And I know, that the divine is here with us and continues to take us through. Our ancestors are here with us and continue to guide and protect us. And we just give thanks for you. And we bless you from your head top to your foot bottom. Do you hear what I say? Yeah, head up to your foot bottom, right? Thank you so much. All my love, all my heart. Bless you. I'll stay on for the post chat.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great afternoon. Bless you. Bye-bye. Thank you, Peter, John. Thank you, Diane, Althea, Adea, Leslie-Ann, Michelle, Venice, Tiona. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.